Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Close Your Mouth Media. My name is Paul, and I'm with my bro, my partner.
What's up? I'm Chris, and we're gonna be talking about WandaVision. Those first two episodes. Marvel is back after a year and a half hiatus.
Finally here, man. Finally here.
What are your initial thoughts about the first two episodes and having Marvel back into our lives?
Honestly, it's great because the end game. Well, actually, end game wasn't the last thing. Spider-Man was.
Yeah, it was Spider-Man: Far From Home,
and that was a crazy movie. Honestly,
yeah,
I'm just
and
happy.
it ended on a cliffhanger too.
I know.
And it's like we had to wait a year and a half after that cliffhanger.
I mean, I'm just happy to be back, man. To be doing some review because the last one we did was like back in October for season 2 of The Boys in 2020. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But my initial thoughts though on both the episodes, I think I like the direction that they're going in. It makes you kind of like think like what's going on. They jump into the era of like 1950s, 1960s of certain like classical sitcom shows. I think
Yeah, I mean, like they obviously we were talking about it before. They did like the Dick Van Dyke Show and certain like kind of cliches from that show, and then they went into like Bewitched with the little sound effects and certain things.
Same intro and all that stuff.
I like my initial thoughts were I love it. I love that they're not revealing too much. They're keeping us, not knowing everything, not giving it all away to just try and gain people to watch week to week. Like they're holding their cards. They're like, listen, we're Marvel, trust us. Even if the first two episodes are slow for some people, not for me, I loved it. But if they're slow for some people, like just trust us, it's gonna have a payoff, and it'll be better for it that they built it this way.
No.
So that was my initial thoughts after watching the two episodes back to back. I like that they're doing weekly. Actually, I don't know how other people feel about that, but I like weekly. You get to talk to people about it, speculate, and the show is like on your mind more. That's why I think they're doing it, because when you put out a full show, it's like here's the 8 episodes, 9 episodes, 10 episodes. You watch it straight through, and then like a week later, no one cares.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like they honestly should have dropped 3 episodes, but I mean, like I'm cool with just 2.
Why 3?
I feel like
because the boys did
3.
The
boys did it, and I was really satisfied. Like I was,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I mean,
like
it's also one less episode this season than the boys' season. It's 9 instead of 10.
So it drags on a little bit longer.
Plus, maybe they don't want to reveal what's in episode 3 for whatever reason. We'll see that next week because episode 3 seems like it's gonna be kind of crazy. There was like a 30-second little trailer to it, but like, actually, we'll get into that. Let's step on episode 1 first. Episode 1, they're in like the 1950s. We're still black and white.
Yep.
And basically they're just trying to live this like normal life. Vision's going to work. Wanda is sitting at home with like just house duties, I guess. The outfits were great. Yo, shout out to I'm gonna say this now because I wrote this down to make sure to say this. Shout out to a few people. Costume director, I think it would be called, or like director of costume, makeup, hair. These people did a fantastic job. I thought everybody was on point. And also shout out to Elizabeth Olsen because she looking so good, bro. Her hair was on point.
Yeah.
Her outfits were on point. So shout out to the people that made that happen. But also she looks so good. she is stunning. But I thought the whole vibe of this first episode was like weird because they were like happy, and then it took like a dark turn, which is something that you were talking about.
Yeah, man. When we got to figuring out what the heart meant on the calendar inside the kitchen, because obviously Wanda and Vision were both clueless. They're like, oh, what does this heart mean on the calendar? Like, is it our anniversary? Is it our birthday? And then we find out later in the episode that it's the name of the boss. They're having dinner with him. So the boss comes over, him and his wife, and it's just a disaster. Wanda's trying to cook dinner for them, and she's creating this big mess. Agnes comes over and tries to help out for like a little bit.
Agnes being the neighbor.
The neighbor, yeah.
Which is somebody that I want to talk about in a little bit. But yeah.
So
she's trying to help at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And Wanda's just like, nah, I got this. So then we get to the table and everyone's eating, and then
Mr. Eating the breakfast that she made for dinner.
Oh yeah. And
she couldn't make that steak or the lobster.
She did. Oh, I thought she made it. So what did he? Okay. So
did you no? Because she made breakfast for dinner. Did you not pay attention?
Nah,
Were you on your phone?
I was a little bit.
See. She couldn't make the lobster or the steak. She couldn't get it. she was messing up. She was trying to cook it all with her powers,
Mm.
and then she burned the chicken, and then she like tried to reverse it back, but she went too far back into where it was a bunch of eggs, which I don't know how one chicken was all that. Whatever. Um, but then she ended up making them breakfast for dinner.
Oh, okay.
And use the excuse that she's like, Sokovian. Like, oh, it's like Sokovian stuff, kind of like the little hello thing where they put their hands over the eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying before, like it gets dark. Mr. Hart ends up choking, and like everyone seems to freak out, like Wanda,
except the wife. His wife was sitting there like, oh, stop it, like smiling, and then like, slowly started going like, stop it, like crying. I was like,
bro, that it got super dark. Like, the lights in the show got dimmed. I was like, I'm like, is anyone gonna help this man? His wife is kind of like sounding like a broken record. I'm like, bro, someone step in. Like Wanda's looking at Vision. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm sitting here like, are you guys that scared to like expose your powers to save this guy's life? Like, what is going on? Like, so.
And then if you notice, Wanda tells Vision, and like it's in a weird tone because throughout the episodes they're like this lovey-dovey couple, and I understand it was a stressful situation, but she tells him like, Vision, help him. And then you see Vision kind of like spring into action. I don't know, there was a weird interaction there. And I think people have speculated that like this is Wanda's reality. Vision is dead. She's gone kind of a little crazy because she lost her brother. Now she loses him. The Avengers are not the same anymore. Iron Man's gone. Cap is old. Like everything's going crazy. Hawkeye is Ronin, who's another guy that was like close to her and lost his whole family. So she kind of is doing. A lot of people have speculated that she's the one that kind of molded this. Now I think that might be slightly true. I think that something else might be happening here, but it's weird how she kind of tells people what to do and like. There's one thing that I noticed in episode 2 that I'm going to get into in a sec. But any other thoughts on episode 1?
I mean, we can talk. I guess we can talk about like how it ended, like where they kind of zoom out of.
Right, they zoom out of a TV, and then there's someone watching it with like a remote, like an old school remote. And
kind of raises
who is that person? I have no idea. Do you have any guess?
I have no idea. Like I said before, like you mentioned, like I thought like it made me think that maybe it was all Wanda, but now it's like making me question, like, oh, maybe
that wasn't her hand from what I saw. I don't even know if you see the hand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like,
and she was on the screen, so like,
yeah, it just raises questions like, what's going on? Like, because at first you think she's fully in control, because after everything that happened in Endgame, like maybe she went crazy and all that stuff. But then you see this, and you're like, all right, so who's watching her? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, somebody's watching what they're doing in there. So then we get into episode 2. We jump into the 60s, and we're in the Bewitched era. Yep. And this was really entertaining for me. They had their separate lives. Vision's kind of arc in this episode was he went to the neighborhood watch meeting in which he called somebody out for being a communist, but then it was a joke, but he didn't think, I don't know. He swallowed a thing of gum and that messed up his gears, which I thought was really funny. And then Wanda, on the other hand, went to this meeting. So this meeting I want to talk about for the talent show, because a few things happened in this meeting. One that I noticed was when she meets her one of her other neighbors, one of the people in the thing. It's an African American woman. I don't remember the name. And she meets her and she says, "Oh, what's your name?" And the woman looks at her and like kind of goes like she doesn't know her own name.
Yeah, she hesitates.
And it's almost as if like Wanda for me was deciding what this person's name was in my mind. Like that's what it kind of the interaction seemed like.
Okay.
And then once she realized like, oh, her name's this, then the woman said it back. That's kind of how I felt, like, because if Wanda's creating these people and this reality, then like she has to also give them names, backstories, things like that. If you've seen the trailers for the seasons, you've seen, I think it's the same woman where she asks her like, "Who are you?" and she goes, "I don't know," and then they like glitch out a little bit. So I think that's the same woman, just in a different decade, like in a different episode. So this one though, it seemed she didn't know her name, and she says it, and she kind of catches up. And there were a few spots throughout the episode where Wanda seems like she's slipping a little bit with like controlling the reality. Also at this party is the radio scene, which is kind of the dark part of this episode, which is where what's her name? Diane?
Dottie.
Dottie.
I thought it was Donnie at first. I had to put
Dottie. You put that's what I do when I write on it. So Dottie was like, I know who you are, I know who your husband is. And then the radio starts messing up and it says, Wanda, who's doing this to you?
Yeah.
Something's going on here, for sure. Who is doing this to Wanda? Do you have any guess still?
I have no idea. I just know someone's trying to reach out to her. Maybe I'm still hanging on till she lost it, and people were just trying to reach her. And
who's trying to reach her? I have some guesses, but I'm gonna save them for the very end.
So should I just save mine at the end?
All right, no. Let's get into it.
The only guess that I had
we'll go back
kind of I forgot the name of the organization.
Shield.
Yeah, I want to say Shield is behind it.
So I was gonna say Sword, which is the new. So Sword and Shield are two different organizations.
Okay.
Nick Fury, after Shield like kind of imploded because of all the shit that went down, he created like Sword, which is a more. It's like what he's doing with the green characters from Captain Marvel. What are they called? Oh my gosh, what are they called? They morph into other people. You know what I'm talking about. Comic fans, don't blow me up. I know the name. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. Mm. But anyway, he like creates Sword, which is a different. It's kind of the same thing, pretty much.
But it's after Shield.
Yeah, it's after Shield. So I think it's Sword. I think it's Nick Fury probably, maybe putting some people onto this case to try and help Wanda out or something. I don't know necessarily, but I think one thing that I think was really important. So they do this talent show. It's really funny. It's a great like scene and everything. They win the award for being the funniest. That same woman that she met, the African American woman, gets teleported into the box. She doesn't know how, and they have to like lie. Vision is showing his powers because he's all high off gum, and Scarlet Witch or Wanda is like, adding a rope to make it look like he's not actually flying, and then she's, making the piano cardboard or whatever. And then actually one of the people in the crowd goes, that was my grandmother's piano. So now he notices something weird. The other woman that got teleported notices something weird. Dottie notices something weird with the radio. So now there's starting to be a couple little things. There was also a scene where you saw somebody like writing stuff down in the background. Some shit is coming together where it's like, all right, people are starting to notice weird shit.
Yeah.
How is Wanda gonna convince them or make them be convinced of like this is all normal?
We also want to know what's up with this whole like, what was it? Children? What was it? It was for the children. Oh,
for the children. Yes. Like, this is some cult shit. I don't know what is going on with this for the children. There are no kids. There's a talent show for all adults, and they keep saying that shit in unison. That is sus. The for the children stuff is completely sus to me. I don't trust it at all.
Yeah, it's strange. They said it a couple times throughout the episode.
It's like in bold and on the talent show banner. Yeah. And like underline. I'm like,
I noticed that right away when they showed like
that
the
is
audience.
So sus to
like,
me.
Where are the kids?
But if you notice in the first 2 episodes, there's no kids that I noticed.
Yeah.
Anywhere, not just at the talent show. I didn't notice a kid anywhere.
But then that skips to that scene with
the beekeeper. We going to the beekeeper?
Oh no, just
where were we going?
Just where Wanda just mysteriously like.
Gets pregnant. Yeah, so basically the bee. Okay, yeah. So they're talking. She gets pregnant, which is like hilarious.
Yeah.
Whatever. Shout out to the what is it? I'm forgetting all my comic references this time, so please don't hate me. But like the Wonder Twins or some shit. Where basically they have twins and then they come out with powers and they're all hopped up on shit. So she gets pregnant, they're about to kiss, and then they hear this banging again, which they heard in episode 1, which was a branch, but now they hear this banging again. They go outside and they check on it, and there's a dude coming out of the sewer drain, the manhole, I guess, coming out of it in a beekeeper's outfit, surrounded by bees. Now, there's one theory going on online, which is something that I thought about, because if you're a fan of Arrow, even if you don't read comics, you'll know who this organization is and what they have to do with bees. Named AIM. So AIM is an organization in the comics, which, their people always wear like bee-looking hazmat suit outfits, beekeeper outfits. Some people are saying that, some people are saying some other shit, but basically this beekeeper crawls out of the manhole in the middle of the night.
Yep.
Wanda looks at them and basically is like, nah, fam, I'm not about it.
This is why I'm saying, bro. I feel like
no, sir, I'm gone. She goes, no. She just says
tone
no.
Of voice and everything.
Shit rewinds, and then they're back in the thing. They start turning to color. They get excited, which is the first time we've seen Vision in color in a while.
Yeah.
Oof. Sorry,
R.I.P.
that's a
him.
yeah. So they turn to color, they kiss. Now, episode ends, sort of, and instead of zooming out to see somebody watching the TV, it kind of starts zooming out, and then you hear the same line again. Wanda, who is doing this to you?
Yeah.
Wanda, and they're like trying to get through to her. I still have no idea who that is.
I don't know, man.
I think it's Sword or Shield.
You think so?
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like she knows what's going on, but like at the same time, like I don't know, people are trying to reach her, like you're saying. I feel like it's Shield. You feel like it's Sword. So
I feel like people. I don't think she knows exactly what's going on.
Not exactly, but like it's crazy to see how much control she has. Like as soon as she saw the guy come up from the sewer or whatever, she was like no, and then she just kind of like reversed things.
And she has all her powers in there.
Yeah.
So where me and him differ a little bit, which we were talking about beforehand, is that you think that Wanda kind of created this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think she had a part in it, and a part of it is in her head and her reality. But there's a certain character who in the trailers, I don't think they gave anything away, but they kind of, to me, gave off a bad vibe. Bad vibes. And that character is someone that you actually mentioned that you like earlier tonight. What's her name again? Remind me of her name.
Agnes.
Agnes. I don't trust Agnes. Okay? Every person that you see, right? Vision or, like, all their names have to be asked. They have to be introduced. So like someone introduces these people to Wanda or Vision. Vision, like it's the boss's name off the door. Wanda asks all these people. Agnes though is the first one who pops up and just says, "Hi, I'm Agnes. I'm your neighbor," and knows her name. Doesn't hesitate. Knows her name and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sus to me. I feel like she has a part in it. I've heard rumors of a certain villain that might be in here. Because this is leading into Doctor Strange 2, and Nightmare is supposed to be the main villain in that, and I'm feeling like Agnes is not exactly the person we think she is.
Damn, that'd be a crazy plot twist.
I think she's probably the only one in there that is not
genuine,
a creation of Wanda. I think Wanda probably created everybody else. Agnes is in there, and she's messing with Wanda's head. And she's the one who's doing this to Wanda and putting her in her own kind of headspace. I think Wanda is getting Wanda'd. You know, Scarlet Witch put everybody else into their own reality in Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
I think this chick Agnes is doing this to Wanda. So she's basically getting, like, whammied in the way that she whammies people.
Damn.
That's my theory so far. Let me know if you think I'm right, think I'm wrong, where I went wrong. But I think that's what is happening because Agnes, she disobeys Wanda. She like showed back up at the house when she wasn't supposed to. Everybody else kind of seems to fall in line around her.
Or she could just be that silly friend that just doesn't listen. But you could be right.
AKA me.
But yeah, man, I just love the direction that they're going in with this. So
me too. 7 more episodes.
7 more? Okay.
They're going to be longer too. These first 2 are about 30 minutes or so because they're trying to keep with the sitcom theme. These were actually filmed in front of a live audience. Shout out to everyone. I know you probably would have been sued out the ass if you told anyone what happened because of the amount of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements that you had to sign. But shout out to the audience that was there watching this live.
That's crazy.
And did not spoil shit. Like, that's awesome. Luke Skywalker being in Mandalorian was not spoiled. Sorry if I just spoiled that for you, but like it's all over the internet. People went crazy for it.
Damn, you just spoiled.
So people did not know about that, even though he was on set with everybody else. Like, I love that spoilers are not coming out like that. But yeah, I just think, these episodes were great. I'm really excited for the rest of the season. I mean, if I were to rate episode 1 and 2, scale of like close your mouth being the worst at number 1 to like 10, I'd probably give them like a solid 8 for episode 1.
I was gonna say that,
and then 8.5 for episode 2. I thought I liked episode 2 a slight bit better because there was just more. There was just more there. There was less foundational type stuff, and they were starting to get into the story. So yeah, I would go 8 and 8.5.
I would say 7.5 for the first one, and then 8 for the second.
Okay.
So I agree with you. I like the second one a lot.
Which is a
more.
very solid score.
Yeah.
Especially for a first couple episodes of a new series.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. You know,
Yeah.
it's very entertaining. It's interesting. So, you know, I think the gears are definitely starting to, you know, get going.
No pun intended with Vision's gears getting all fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that's it for us. You know, check back. We'll be putting up. So this week there's a little issue of me falling asleep and these episodes coming out at 3 a.m. But me and Paul have made the executive decision to do reviews as soon as these shows drop, the episodes. They're dropping at 3 a.m. Eastern time. Gives about 45 minutes to watch them, about half an hour to take this video and upload it. No. So about, I'd say 4:30-ish a.m. Eastern Standard Time, these reviews will come out. We'll be the first one to put them out, hopefully, or one of the first. So check back if you want to see the rest of our reviews. And, you know, click a video below if you want to check out some of the Closing Mouth Media channel and see what we're all about. Exactly. But for right now, like, subscribe, comment down below your theories. I really want to get a conversation going on the show like we did with the boys episodes, where we can interact and really talk about it and have the comments be like mini forums. So other than that, you got anything left to say?
Honestly, no. Yeah, just comment down below and let us know what you guys think. You know,
yeah,
definitely correct him. Fine. Just definitely correct him on all the stuff that he missed. You know, but
I did not. It's the only thing. It's the scrolls. Those green people from Captain Marvel are scrolls. I know my comics. All right. I couldn't think of it. Hush Gang, close your mouth.
Cheers.